Yo, what's going on, guys? Sam here. Apple Arcade is launching for everybody in just a few days, but if you're running one of the iOS 13 betas, Apple gave some people early access. So today I want to show you guys my top 10 favorite games for Apple Arcade at launch. I cannot believe that for only about $5 a month here in the US, you get access to so many different titles, whether they're platformers or runners or genuinely story-driven games. I think there's something on here for everybody, and I have been blown away. Absolutely. I don't know, just really impressed with the games on here because they're all exclusive. They've all been curated by Apple, and I think they're genuinely gaming at its best. So here are my 10 favorites on Apple Arcade. I wanted to show you guys these today. If you're excited, drop a like down below. Hit subscribe for more so you don't miss out on anything else. Let's go ahead and get started. At number 10 on the list is Mini Motorways. This one's really cool. Not only do you get to select where you actually play, from LA to Beijing to Tokyo to Moscow, you get to do these top-down connections from buildings to houses and transport cars to where they need to go. It gets exciting when buildings start to overflow or you need more cars there right now. You can add bridges and other elements along your routes. It's a fun, relaxed customizer. This is something to play, I would say, if you just want to pass the time. You've had a long day and you just want some mindless entertainment, but it's not going to be like in your face or super story driven or probably, make you shed a tear. It's chill. It allows you to connect roads together, and I've actually enjoyed it. It's kind of fun to see how the cars move on the map and feel like you sort of accomplished something when you set the game down. Now, I know that that's hard to say about a video game, so going into the next one, if you want to feel like you're more involved than just watching cars move, you have Lego Brawls. This one has a heavy emphasis on multiplayer interaction. You do have personal one-on-one trading, but the game really wants you to play with your friends and fight people or fight other people online as a team. So you've got Party, you've got Brawl. This one's unlike any Lego game I've ever played before, but it's a very fun, I would sort of call it like a run and gun or like run and sword fight kind of game. You get to move around on the left side of the screen, sort of interact and swipe up to jump on the right side, and also use your sword to fight monsters. It got a different feel to it. I don't know really how to describe it other than unlike any other Lego game I've played before, but it's fun, and I could definitely see this being super cool in the team aspect if you had some friends that also hopped on Apple Arcade to fight other teams or fight monsters as a squad. So that's why I put this at the end of my list, because again, it's cool, but I feel like the novelty of it could wear off pretty quickly. Where you start to get into some more involved gameplay is with Oceanhorn 2. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever played Zelda before, but I just recently got Breath of the Wild on my Switch, and after playing this, the first thing that I thought of was, oh my gosh, this feels so similar to Zelda. And I don't think that's a bad thing at all, because I've never really experienced that on an iPhone screen or an iPad or an Apple TV screen before, but I have experienced it now. And I don't know how the team was able to put all of these elements in one game, but from the graphics to the music to the sound effects to the interaction between you and monsters, it feels like the entire world is unique to you, and interacting with it is genuinely rewarding and fun. Like, you have an incentive to explore just as much, I would say, as you have an incentive to do the story or follow where it tells you to go. This game is gonna keep you entertained for many, many hours. I can assure you of that. And it is kind of crazy that this is included along with like hundreds of other games on Apple Arcade. It's kind of mind-blowing you get all that for one low price. So Oceanhorn 2, if you like that Nintendo vibe of games, I think you guys are really gonna like this one. At number 7, Speed Demons sort of takes a step back and gives you just this raw adrenaline and raw involvement. It's gonna be very fast-paced and allow you to just sort of steer your car like a madman around town. There's a reason it's called Speed Demons. It's because you're driving around like a speed demon. You get to fly around on this highway, but what I like about this, different than like your traditional racing game, is how you play it. Just like the first game we talked about, it's a top-down, so you get to slide it around and race and drive from a different perspective. I'm so used to racing games being like, you sit in a car, you look straight, or it's like an over-the-shoulder car shot. And this is a different one. I like what they've done with it. The artwork is really cool, and my heart rate definitely goes up a little bit. I don't know what else to tell you guys other than I think you're going to enjoy this if you like something a bit more fast-paced. Speed Demons is for those quick gaming sessions when you just want something fun to do in a couple of minutes. And so is Doto Peak. This game is very Frogger reminiscent in the aspect of you move up and down and like swipe to go one step at a time. But I would say it's not in the fact that the FPS is beautiful. Like the frames per second seems incredible. There's a Frogger game actually on Apple Arcade, but I didn't include it in this list just because I really didn't enjoy it all that much. This has an aspect of having to collect items and then go back to where you started while also avoiding enemies. And I think the art and like the frame rate is just so good looking. So right here you have to look for eggs, collect coins along the way, but also watch out for this menacing snake or other fishes and thing. It is fishes. I almost said fish eye. These other enemies that come along the way. I like the aspect of collecting things and then having to go back to where you started while also protecting the little like baby dodo birds behind you. And it's also sort of cool because, you know, dodo birds are extinct, and it's a play on the fact that, well, if you're the dodo bird, maybe you can be a little bit smart. Again, a fun one to play when you don't have a ton of time and just want to pass a couple of minutes. At number 5 on our list, this one is very challenging. I was getting frustrated on like the second level that they had. Your goal here is to navigate and traverse this dark and ominous landscape. Is sort of a turn-based isn't the right word. Like you go one step at a time because you don't want to mess anything up, and you want to make sure that you avoid detection at all costs because there are police. You are the operator trying to get to the phone to essentially phone out or I guess call off the operation. And the graphics here are super unique. It's like very pixely. It looks like you're almost seeing in 3D, and I think that's what they were going for. Sort of looking at the game as if it was an X-ray of sorts. Your goal is to always get to the phone and to make a phone call, of course, while not getting detected in any capacity along the way. With games like this, it feels so rewarding when you finally get to that phone and you get to the place where you need to be after trying so many times. And it also makes you think about things in a different way. You know, you always think point A to point B, what's the fastest way to go? But in these situations, what's the sneakiest or most effective way to go without getting detected? And I situated it in sort of the middle of the list here because I think it represents the best of Apple Arcade. Like this is a game I would have never found without Apple Arcade, but I've really enjoyed my time spent playing it. Overland is very similar in the regard that you sort of move one step at a time, and this one also has challenged me a bit. This gives you more freedom. There's not necessarily a concrete goal like in the last one there was a phone. This is sort of just you got to make some tough decisions to help other people or get out of there for yourself and find gas and make sure that you don't die. It's a post-apocalyptic game with an incredible art style. It looks like a board game from the outside when you're playing, and it feels as such, but it's also got this incredible like human feel to it. It's kind of hard to describe. So in the first level, you have to search and find gas, and it just gets more and more complex and involved. And in the first scene, like one of your friends gets eaten by some monsters or attacked by some monsters. So it gets you in the feels right away, and I think that's what they're going for. I also think it was pulled off incredibly well. You sort of move step by step, turn by turn, trying to escape these monsters, and it will get you thinking and definitely have you feel something. Now, for a lot of these games, I really enjoy the art style, and even though this game is so simplistic in how it works, Rayman Mini has really gotten me, and I just think it's because of the graphics themselves. Playing this on an iPhone XS, it feels like this is something that 10 years ago I would have said, no, there's no way you could get something that looks this nice and this detailed on an iPhone. This is a console quality game. As somebody who's been a Rayman fan forever, this game really nails it. I feel like they did a great job. There's attacks, there's enemies to kill, you have water that sort of propels you, you can glide, you can smash attack. It's fun. It doesn't challenge what I think about gaming, but it does challenge me to just get all the little like yellow bee things and complete a level. It's a just for fun game that I think you'll keep coming back to if you enjoy that endless runner style. Now, Assemble, number 2 on the list. So we're getting to like very high games here that I think I'm going to be going back to a lot. Assemble is unlike anything I've honestly ever played before because I've never really thought about this concept until it was presented to me. Again, another example of something that I don't think I'd ever be drawn to if it wasn't for Apple Arcade. It's called Assemble with Care, and in it, you play with these little gadgets. You put them together, you interact with them. For example, you put a cassette into a radio and then you play it and you hear about the story of a woman named Maria who's going on these adventures and traveling, and the sound and the dialogue, the voice acting. It feels something that you would get from a AAA title, but bundled into this tiny little homey feeling game that I can't really put down, and I haven't felt that way about a game in a long time. This is one you guys got to check out. One of the coolest on the list. That's why I put it at number 2. So I've showed you a lot so far, my first 9 games. Now, taking the #1 spot for me combines everything that I love. A good story, feeling, a human touch, incredible artwork. We have projection first light. You play as a shadow puppet that sort of looks creepy, a bit disfigured, but you see something inherently intriguing in them that I can't really step away from. Again, this is something that I haven't felt in a game. You've got the story, there's all these quirky things that happen to you. I question why my character looks the way that they do, why everyone looks like so sad and so down. Like, what's the backstory behind these characters? It's got everything I want in a game, and the fact that, again, this is no longer limited to a video gaming console, but my iPhone that I take with me everywhere. I think this game is going to explore many themes of the human experience from top to bottom, and it's cool that you get to experience that on your phone, a device that sits in your pocket. That's my look at my top 10 games for Apple Arcade. If you guys have seen any others, let me know down below. Listen, I know there's a ton, but for me, these have been the 10 that have made me say, wow, this is pretty cool, and they're all free if you pay $5 a month. I mean, traditionally, some of these games would be $5 to $10 each, and you're getting all of them and new ones each and every single month for $5 a month. It's a pretty cool idea, and I can't wait to see what it does to the gaming industry. That's all I have for you guys today. Drop a like down below if you enjoyed this. Hit subscribe for more. I've been Sam. I'll catch up with all of you in my next video.